Hey everybody, Mo here, and today I'm bringing you guys a very important, the last Meta Monday of the season. Very important Meta Monday is the Meta Monday leading into your qualifications for Seasonal Championship, and potentially determines what the meta for the Seasonal Championship is going to be like. So for those of you that don't know, the Seasonal Championship cutoff is going to be this Thursday night, Thursday at midnight, turning into Friday. Pacific time is when seasonal cutoff happens. So whatever your rank is at that time, it will determine if you qualify for the seasonal championship and if you get your, if you qualify for that 7-2 seeding or not. So yeah, this is a really important week. So if you're trying to climb, it's also the last week to climb for whatever your rank goal is before season reset. Because I believe season resets a week from Wednesday is when we get the new patch. The new expansion, all the new cars and stuff like that, and a completely new season starts next Wednesday. So yeah, so whatever your goals are, if you're trying to hit Masters, Diamond, Platinum, whatever it is you're trying to do, you only have a week left. So hopefully this Meta Monday kind of gives you an idea of what to play or what you're going to be playing against, and then you can kind of pick your deck accordingly. So before we get into that, I want to remind you guys that 68% of the people that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to me. So if you guys could do me a huge favor, click that subscribe button. Help me out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Comment down below. Join my Discord. My Discord's very poppin' place for competitive LoR. I'll bring it up here just to show you guys. People are constantly in here talking about competitive LoR and stuff. People posting their achievements, like this guy's almost hit diamond. Someone else just like yesterday showed that they finally hit diamond, and everyone was posting about how they did well in their seasonal gauntlets. And yeah, people were talking about like what they were playing in seasonal, how they did in season, or their last chance gauntlet, stuff like that. So if you enjoyed the competitive community or want to get more into the competitive scene of LoR, make sure to join my Discord. The link will be in the description below. We always talk about competitive LoR. It's the place to be for competitive LoR. So that's gonna be it for the intro. Let's get into these top 8 most played decks. So number 1 is going to be Pirates. Pirates has the second highest win rate on this top 8 list. And there's really nothing special about it. It's just literally just Pirates. It's a really good deck for ladder because your games are extremely fast. Your games are extremely fast. Your games are extremely polarizing. So if you're against any bad decks, you're going to smoke them. If you're against your good matchups are really good, and your bad matchups are really bad. So you see here, like, your bad matchups are like 30%, 40%, 40%, 40%, but your good matchups are like 80%, 78%, 75%. So your good matchups are really good, and your bad matchups are just really bad. But to be fair, your bad matchups aren't extremely popular. Like, out of all of these, Thralls is the most popular. And then out of all of these, you just see so many random bad decks compared to the amount of like good decks you see. Like, when was the last, out of all of these, your top 8 worst matchups, there's like 2 decks that are played, right? It's like I assume this is Monkey deck. Can I pull up a list here? Yeah. So it's like out of the top 8 worst matchups, it's like you have Monkey deck and Thralls are the only ones that are like somewhat played. So Pirates extremely good. This would actually be my go-to. At the end, I'll give my recommendations of what I would play this week to try to get that final push in for your seasonal climb. But Pirates is extremely good, extremely fast, and really good. So like I said, second highest win rate deck on the top 8 here. Number 2 is Mono Kaisa, still rocking a 55% win rate, 54.5% win rate. Deck is still very good. It's still very much if you can't kill Kaisa. I think this might be an older list because we're technically not one full week into the new patch. But I know Mono Kaisa is still being extremely good. It still hit rank 1 multiple times, even post-patch. Anada's been doing really well with it. So Kaisa is still in a spot where it's basically just kill Kaisa on 5, or she could bring a lot of pain. So she's still extremely strong. Number 3, the third most played deck is Darkness, but it's not doing too hot. 49% win rate. This deck is basically not easy. People are trying to play it because they're super excited, and I'll be honest, I think the win rate's kind of getting dragged down quite a bit by people not really knowing how to play Darkness and kind of just trying it out. Also, I think people's deck lists are bad. Like, I think Destin 8 is a really bad card. I think you probably don't need Stress Defense. You don't need Miscall, like, at all. You just play Transposition. So I think, like, especially if, like, this is the deck list people are playing, I think people are just building their deck pretty wrong. pretty incorrectly, like Otterpuss. Come on, man. Why is this not just a bird? Um, so yeah, I think the deck list is being pretty bad. I think the difference between a good deck list and a bad deck list is like, yeah, see, like this is what the highest win rate player is on, and he's on like a wall up of like some boxes, no of the whatever the otter put stuff like that. So like this deck list definitely looks better to me. Still some things I would change out. Like I probably would still play transposition over miscall. Stress defense still seems pretty bad to me. Probably play like second kindle or something. But yeah, I think like that's a lot more closer to something that I would play instead of Des Ada. But yeah, I think Darkness is just not easy deck. And I don't think it's particularly good. I think it's, again, also extremely polarizing, just like Pirates is, except it's worse because your games take forever. So not only is it polarizing, but your games take a very, very long time, and it could be hard for you to win. But I mean, it's probably really good into Silver. Yeah, it's really good into Silver Auction. Or sorry, good into like Kaisa Auction. Kaisa Auction is the new Silver Auction. So really good into Kaisa. Like, look at all these Demacia decks. It's just completely smoking. So if your goal is to beat the best deck in the game, which is Kaisa Auction, if your goal is to beat that, you can play Darkness. Also, I think Darkness doesn't do too bad. Oh, sorry, this is what it loses to. It loses to Kaisa Auction. Oh, sorry. I thought it was saying it was beating. No, it's a 35% win rate. Okay, never mind. Probably don't play Darkness. I thought it was saying it would beat Kaisa. It beats Kaisa Auction 36% of the time, but it turns out it loses to it a lot of the time. Yeah, so then probably don't play Darkness if you're trying to climb for this week specifically. Probably try and play it after the seasonal break, or after the break point is up, so people are stopped playing the Kaisa Auction. That's probably why the win rate of this deck is so low, because it loses so hard to all the Kaisa decks and the Demacia decks. Which makes sense, right? Because they play Kaisa, and then you can remove the Kaisa instantly with like a Vengeance. And if they don't have a response to it, that's fine. But then they immediately just go second skin onto my spell shield unit. So when they play their second Kaisa, it comes down with spell shield, and you just can't interact with it at all. And it's very, very sad. And then number 4, halfway done. The best deck in the game right now is still a Kaisa deck. It's Kaisa Auction. The biggest difference between this and the old Kaisa list, though, is that this is very much just a very solid mid-range deck, whereas the old Kaisa list before, like last week and before the patch, was just this like go all in on Kaisa combo game plan. Excuse me, it's so early in the morning. Just go all in on Kaisa game plan, where it was like, you know, I'm just gonna play Kaisa, burst speed. They go like, I'm playing Kaisa, you can't remove it, I'm gonna go supercharge burst burst speed, second skin at burst speed, and then just open it, then it kill you, like attack and kill you. Now this deck plays, if you guys remember Silver Auction, the Demacia Shurima mid-range deck, this is basically just that. It's basically just Demacia Shurima mid-range with Kaisa Auction. You still play the Evolve package, but now you're playing the Evolve package, and then like a lot of decks aren't playing any supercharge at all, but this one is still playing one. Yeah, and you're just playing like a very fair mid-range deck is the only difference. And it turns out it's still really fucking good, because if you don't have a removal for Kaisa on the spot, then you still lose to Kaisa. Number 5, Jin Annie. Win rate's tanking below 50% here. Nothing to really talk about. It's still just Jin Annie. I think this deck is still really good. I think, you know, it could have a higher play rate for sure if people weren't dragging it down a little bit. But also, I think, let's see, what are your worst matchups? Yes, yeah, I think you get hoed by Pirates, which is extremely popular right now. So yeah, you kind of just lose to every other aggro deck. So like, yeah, you lose to like Gwen Elise, you lose to like the Draven Scion, Scouts, Pirates, Nightfall. So you basically lose to every other aggro deck that people are trying to spam to get rank. You're gonna lose to, which is feels kind of bad, man, because you're all. While Jin Annie I think is a really good deck, you kind of need to play it into the like mid-range or slower decks in order to beat them. So with people spamming aggro decks the last week and the last couple days, probably better off just to play Pirates. Number 6 is Jaceheimer. So Jaceheimer, extremely good deck, very solid. Has dodged nerfs the last like 2 patches. It's pretty insane to me. This deck wasn't touched at all. I said this was going to be like the best deck post-patch, and it turns out Kaisa still is, but I think this deck is still extremely strong. I think it just is boring. I don't know. I think this deck is like super sleeper for some reason. Like I never hear people talk about it. When people talk about like the best deck in the game, I never hear people talk about Jaceheimer. But this deck is so strong. This deck literally just was the finals on both sides of the North American seasonals. Like I don't know. This deck is extremely strong. I don't. People are still sleeping on it for sure. Um, it like yeah, I don't know. Maybe the matchups just aren't there. I guess you lose to a lot of the popular matchups here. It looks like for ladder you lose to Kaisa Auction, but you also lose to Pirates, but you also lose to like, Monkey. Mm. You also lose to Darkness, yeah. Yeah, you definitely lose to Nami. I guess that's what it could be. I guess you just kind of like lose to the most popular decks on ladder. It seems kind of weird to me. I think the deck's extremely strong. I don't think you should be losing. Like, you definitely shouldn't be losing this, like, the Monkey matchup, especially if you're playing Withering Whale. I think the decks probably just aren't playing Withering Whale. I think you could build your deck to beat a lot of the stuff for sure. But, yeah, I think probably the issue is that Mono or Kaisa decks are still around, and this Kaisa decks beat Jayceheimer for the same reason they beat Darkness. Of, like, you can probably deal with the first Kaisa, and then they just go second skin my spell shielded unit. You can never deal with second Kaisa. All right, deck number 7, second to last deck is Kennen Ezreal. So Kennen Ezreal, kind of a newer deck with the Kennen buff going up to deal 3 damage with Mark of the Storm. And then obviously Ezreal got the play cast change, so you kind of get the 2 damage immediately after targeting. So you just have like 0 mana, burst speed, deal 2 damage to the enemy Nexus. Yeah, so this is kind of reminiscent of the old Kennen Ezreal deck, where it was like kind of got hotfix nerfed within the first week. Is when back when BBG still played LoR. Rest in peace, BBG. When he still played LoR, he found this like Kennen Ezreal deck. Basically, day 0, whenever we had early access, he found it and started playing it. And then the deck literally got nerfed within like a week. Like within a week of being live, they hotfix nerfed the deck, and then they proceeded to nerf it again in the following patch. The actual like, the balance change that was like the balance patch that was like a week or 2 weeks after they had nerfed Kennen Ezreal again. So, yeah, but it seems to be back. People are playing it a lot. I don't know if it's actually good or if it's just a bunch of people really excited that Kennen got buffed and Kennen Ezreal could be back. So we'll see. Time will tell if it's good enough to actually be considered good, or if it's just kind of a, deck of the week type, like flavor of the week style deck. But we'll see. Definitely get some nice YouTube videos out of it for sure, at least all the hype's around it. And then numbers 8 is still Bartolai again. I think these are kind of just stats leaking in from pre-patch. And then after that's gonna be, we'll just say Monkey is number 8. So Monkey's still really good. Monkey also didn't get nerfed at all. So I don't really know why people stopped playing Monkey, because I think you beat Kaisa decks. Let's see. So yeah, you lose to Thralls, but I don't really know why people stopped playing Monkey. Like, you beat Anti-TF. Do you lose to Pirates? You lose to Kaisa decks, apparently. I didn't think you lost to Kaisa decks. Yeah, I mean, you beat Kennen Ezreal. You beat Burn. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not really sure why people stopped playing Monkey. I think people kind of just, like, get bored of decks, or they, like, play decks really well, and realize, oh, shit, this deck's broken. And then they just, like, forget about it if it doesn't hit rank 1 or something, or if their favorite YouTuber isn't just, like, super pushing the deck on their stream or something. Then, I don't know, I think LoR is, like, a very hive-minded community, where it's, like, if everyone agrees that, like, oh, this deck is broken, then people kind of just play it, and it's nuts. And everybody plays it, and everyone's like, oh my god, this deck's so broken. Look, everybody's playing it, and it's so good. But then, like, as soon as people stop playing it or start looking at a new toy, and it's usually a lot of times dictated also by like content creators and streamers. Once people start playing with like new toys or drop the old toys, everyone else just seems to forget about them and like stop playing them, even though the deck is still extremely good. And that's what I feel like happened with like Monkeys and Jayceheimer and stuff like that. But now we're gonna look at the 3 highest win rate decks in the game, or in Masters, and number 1 at a 59% win rate is Sivir Kaisa Auction. So people kept arguing, oh, what if you played Kaisa Auction? Oh, what if it's supposed to be Sivir Auction? What if it's just Mono Kaisa? What if it's Kaisa Sivir? Fuck it, just play all 3 of them. Just play a nice little 3-2-1 split here. Play all 3 of them, and apparently you have the highest win rate deck in the game. You have over 1,000 matches, has a almost 60% win rate. Between, you got Jason Floron, Dudu Danunu, Take Cake. So you got all these really good players in here, piloting it to like 70% plus win rate. Yeah, I mean, seems good. It looks like this version is way worse into aggro. So it's like losing to Pirates, Burn, Lurk randomly, just kind of funny. Nightfall, more pirates. So yeah, it looks like you're gonna be a lot worse into aggro, but you beat everything else just super hard. Like you beat the control decks extremely hard. You beat the mirror match, I assume. You beat the mirror match really hard because you just play more threats. So yeah, you beat all the like mid-range decks and all the slower decks, but you sacrifice somewhere, I guess, on the deck list. You sacrifice against aggro decks, and that's what gets you smoked. And then Kai'Sa Auction at 57% win rate, which is insane over 4,000 matches. Like, that is insane. And then number 3 is Katarina Elise Gwen. I think this is infinite combo. Oh no, this is just a control deck. So the third highest win rate deck in the game, right under Kai'Sa Auction, is a catalog. Yeah, it's a catalog go hard deck. So this deck is basically just hard control. Does this deck beat anything good? Yeah, I mean, like, you lose to Sivir Kai'Sa Auction for the same reason all the other control decks do. I guess you would beat aggro hard. Like, yeah, you beat Sin of Darkness. You beat, what else? You beat Monkey. Yeah, I mean, I guess you would beat aggro because you just have so much life gain that, yeah, there's your pirate matchup. Actually, it's only like 57% or 51%. These are all just 50% matchups. I don't know, man. I don't know why this deck does so well, but yeah, I mean, Trevo, previous world champion, soon to be world champion, hey, previous seasonal champion Trevo's playing it, so deck must be not bad. Who knows? Deck must be not bad, right? So yeah, there you go. That's your 8 most played decks, your 3 highest win rate decks. For climbing for this last final week, I would highly recommend Pirates. I would basically recommend 2 decks, either Pirates or Kai'Sa Auction. These are the 2 best decks in the game at the moment. Both of them have pretty quick games. Pirates especially has really quick games. And then Kai'Sa Auction, your games still aren't very long. So you get quick games, you get a lot of games in, and that's really all ladder is just grinding out games and hoping to get a nice little win streak going. So that way you could eventually get into Masters or get, Masters to qualify for seasonals. You probably only need like 100 LP. So you're just like win, 8 or 9, win 9 games really quickly in a row, and then boom, you're qualified for seasonals. So there you go. That's my take. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed this Meta Monday. Again, like, subscribe, comment for that algorithm, all that type of stuff. Join the Discord if you're into competitive LoR, want to get into competitive LoR. My Discord is the place to be, so make sure to join that. And that's going to be it for this episode. I'll see you guys in the next video.